Hey everybody, it's me Ashish, and before we begin, I just want to give a quick thank you to everybody listening, watching, and supporting the podcast. It means the world to us, and we're so appreciative. I just want to let you guys know that you guys can always ask us questions, give us segment ideas, and keep up with the fun, all at AshishandFriends.com. We're on Twitter at AshishandPals, we're on Instagram at AshishandFriends, and hey, we're even on Facebook, facebook.com/AshishandFriendsPod. If you're watching this video, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to the channel. All that following and liking and subscribing will help us grow and keep going, so we appreciate it so much. And once again, thank you, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Yes, welcome to another great episode of the Ashish and Friends podcast. As always, I'm your host, Ashish, and you can reach me on Instagram and on Twitter at AshishAiry. Of course, I'm joined by my longtime friends and co-hosts. We've got Dev at SuperLaser. We've got Shahan at Shahan Jayaraja. And we always got Ryan. So what's up, guys? We got a full house today. Looking forward to this episode. So today, we've got another draft. Wow. And this is recommended, I think Ryan suggested this one. We're going to be drafting fruits. So we're just like straight up just fruits, not like their applications are like, you know, lemonade/wine or whatever. Just the straight up fruit. What is the favorites? We're gonna be drafting those. If you want to talk about kind of what you're doing throughout the process while like ranking, you can do that real quick. I'm gonna get the randomizer ready.
Yeah. So for me, when I looked at this, I thought like I probably want a later pick in this draft because I think that there's probably like 6 fruits I really love, and then after that it starts to get a little bit more dicey. What do you guys think?
It's hard to tell. I think there's a couple top fruits I feel are going to get taken in the first couple picks, but then I feel after that it's kind of based on tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's 1 or 2 at the very top that I think will go quickly. I mean, I'll be honest, my list isn't the longest for this one out of all the ones that I've done, so we'll have to. And I also have no real feeling of what direction you guys are gonna go, so we'll see.
All right.
Just like Dev was mentioning, I think there's like 6 or 7 I really love. So I'm looking for that 3-4 spot, to be honest. It's that kind of draft that if I have the number 1 overall, is it going to carry my whole team? I'm not sure if it can in this draft, so we'll have to see. And let me click the randomizer right here. Ooh, all right, finally a new order. Order has been restored.
Ryan is not first.
What?
All right,
I know what you're alluding to here.
Finally. Okay, so at number 4, we've got Ryan. At number 3, it's me. So that means at number 2, we've got Dev. And with the number 1 overall pick, it goes to Shahan Jayaraja.
And
So
Shahan
kick it off
continues his tradition of getting number 1 picks when they matter the least.
I mean, at least in this one though, I mean, you guys might disagree. I think that there's an obvious number 1 pick though, so I think that is different than the last couple of times. And look, we're not going to waste any time here, okay? Look. We're all a bunch of brown dudes on this podcast. I think that there's a very obvious number 1 pick. Mangoes are off the board. I think that mangoes are the most elite fruits, not even close. Now, the one thing I'll say with mangoes is that sometimes you get some variation, right? Like when you get sort of the more, store-bought mango, like it's not quite as good. But when you have a fresh cut mango, like that's perfectly ripe, it is the best fruit in the world, and I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to say on it. I mean, it's also a good flavoring. It goes great in smoothies. Like everything about mangoes is just phenomenal. And just one of those things that for a long time I didn't realize like how drastically different there were types of mangoes. So like when you go to like southern India versus northern India, like the mangoes are very, very different, which I didn't like realize until I had gone. So for a long time, when you picture a mango, you think of just like this big round kind of fruit, but like there's very skinny ones. It's so different. It was interesting to learn that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing when you notice is like the Indian stores, the ones they usually sell are like the big red and green ones, a little yellow. Then you go to Costco, they have like the Alfonso pure yellow ones. little skinnier. But yeah, dude, I think mangoes is number one on my board too. And like you said, we're a bunch of brown dudes, dude. I think it's tradition, in the summer having a nice cold mango, whether you're slicing it up or if it's like kind of like I don't know, I kind of like squeeze it out and drink some juice from it, and then you peel it and then kind of just go in at it. One of the best fruits. I think it's easy pick right there. So good job.
And it also has some good health benefits. It can help lower cholesterol. Just throwing that out there.
That's awesome. Well, so I told Ashish before the thing started that if I got the number one pick, I was probably going to go a different route than the rest of us. And so, what I was going to pick is still on the board, and I'm going to pick bananas. So the thing about bananas is, to me, this is the GOAT fruit in terms of convenience. There is no more convenient fruit than the banana. It's sitting there. First of all, it tells you how it is, right? Like, you just look at a banana, you immediately know. It's like green, you're like, the bananas are like, not yet, bro. Like, come back later. You see the banana is yellow, you're like, all right, it's good to go. You see it as like dark brown, you're like, okay, banana bread time. Like, the banana tells you, like there's no guesswork. You don't have to like feel the banana. There's no like checking. You know when a banana is good. And you just pick it up. It's its own container. You throw it, like, you know what I mean? There's nothing more convenient than a banana, so I'm gonna take that with the next pick. And I think its flavor is unique enough that there's a lot of berries, there's a lot of other fruits. It's not really a banana replacement.
Yeah. Well, the thing that I'll ask, can you hold up your banana again?
Yeah. This one is about to.
I imagine that you bought that 5 minutes ago and it's already ripe. That's my issue with it.
No, we actually. When did we buy these, Andrew? Like Saturday, so it's been a while.
The last one.
Not a while. You can keep a mango for so much longer than that.
True, but no. Just go get more bananas. I know my dad will be happy. Like, we always joke that my dad will go to Costco and literally walk out with just bananas. Like, this dude eats like 2 bananas a day, so he loves them. I love them. They're great fruit.
3 a day.
No, I think you're right, dude. It's like one of the only fruits that tells you like exactly when it's ready to eat. So convenient. It's probably the fruit I eat the most. It's not my favorite though, and it's a great comedy prop. People slipping on bananas. What are you gonna do without them? The banana peels. But I think what I do is I actually get like 2 sets. One that's green and one that's yellow. So then I'll eat the yellow one like in the coming week, and then by the time that's done, the green ones will be ready to eat.
And Shahan talked about how they ripen so fast, but it's actually a huge benefit because if you have a fruit that's not ripe, like let's say you want to make guacamole, and your avocado's not ripe, you just put it in a bag with a banana, and it'll be ripe tomorrow. So bananas are really convenient for that as well.
Right, and there's a way to slow it down too. I think if you put some like plastic wrap or something on top, where they're all held together, that slows it down. The only weird thing is they're called fingers. In the whole bunch. I think that's a little weird, but it is what it is. To be honest, for me, it's like it is a 3rd or 4th rounder for me. I'm not even gonna lie, just because I think there's some other fruits that have more flavor to me.
What were you saying, Ryan?
That was my first round pick. That was my first pick on my board.
Bananas.
I had the same talking point. I was gonna say it's very easy to know when it's ripe and when it's not ripe.
Yeah, it's the most convenient fruit by far.
Yeah, it is.
And I think it's the golden standard for potassium. People are like, oh, bananas, get your potassium in. So all right, well, I'm happy.
Think about that. It's a good one.
Okay. So right here with a 3rd overall pick, I'm kind of excited. I kind of got a lot of things going on. So most of my favorite ones are still here. So I'm not going to overthink it. I'm gonna take a watermelon right here. There's a couple of them I was debating between, but in the summer, I think watermelon is one of the top fruits of all time. You really want to do that. Like, you're eating it by the pool, whether seedless or has seeds, they're all both pretty great. And, sometimes it's not that sweet, but it is what it is. I know how to pick watermelons. It's pretty convenient. And, I think it's just a great summer fruit and probably the best melon. So...
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Watermelons, especially being in the South, right? Like, watermelons are a classic staple.
Yeah, no, for sure. And like summer parties, dude, pool parties, like you want those slices of watermelon out there, and I think it's cool to see how other people eat it, whether it's like triangle pieces or people get like those little scoops and put little scoops everywhere. I don't know, but either way, it's a great fucking fruit. So I'm happy.
Also, for anyone who cares, right? Like, it's very filling per calorie because it's just water basically. Like that is something that's really convenient about watermelon. Like you can eat a lot of watermelon, be full, and not feel like you don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think you got like a lot of shitty calories or anything going on, and you're hydrated now.
Yeah.
It's just a great fruit. What can I say?
Also good to mix with alcohol. I think watermelon. You can like dip the balls in like vodka, and it's so good.
Yes, or you can like put a hole on one end and kind of just pour in the liquor in there. It's pretty great stuff. So yeah, there we go. I feel confident with Dev supporting my pick here. So Ryan, you've got 2 back-to-back picks. Where are you headed?
I'm going to take my number 2 pick off the board. I'm taking grapes. Grapes are one of my favorite fruits. I think it's easy to eat. You wash it, you just pull them off. It's a nice snack. But there's also a good variety. You have the red grapes that are sweet. You have green grapes that are tart. They have a lot of good vitamins, low in calories. I like grapes.
Yeah, I think grapes are great. I don't know if there's much to say about them.
No, I think grapes are great. Which one's your favorite? The red ones or the green ones?
I like both equally.
Okay.
I'm a green grape myself.
I'm all red all the
I
way.
think I'm a red guy too. I don't like the seeded ones, dude. What is up with the seeded grapes? What the fuck is that, dude? Whenever that came to my life, I'm like, this is not great. This sucks.
I mean, it's actually when it's a seeded grapes, that's what it makes it actually a fruit, right? So like, actually, by picking seedless grapes, we're actually going against the rules of this draft.
Well, Ryan, you've got another pick. Where are you headed?
I'm changing my board slightly because I think this fruit is very versatile, and I don't want to leave it on the board because I don't think it's going to come back to me. So I'm going to take orange with this pick. I think it's the best citrus fruit. It's, again, another very versatile fruit in this, as you have so many different, you got navel oranges, which are really sweet. You got mandarin oranges, which are very portable, the cuties, you take and peel them like that. Then you got blood oranges and bitter oranges, which are more bitter, and they're all acidic, so you get the acidic punch. So I think there's a lot of flavor in selecting orange. And it's high in vitamin C, helps boost your immune system.
So for this draft, are we considering clementines and oranges the same fruit or not?
I don't think those are the same.
Because I
Clementines.
think you picked the worst of the two.
Yeah. I mean, you get like mandarin oranges and like normal oranges. Those are all yours. But clementines, I think they're different.
I think they're different, and I think you picked the worst of the two.
No, but I get mandarin oranges. Those are great.
Mandarin oranges are great.
Those are fantastic, really good in salads for sure.
If you want clementines, you can feel free to choose that on your next selection.
It is the only other citrus I have on my board. So
I'm gonna end my citrus fruit section by saying you can't compare no apples to oranges. I'm just saying.
Anyway, let's move on.
That's like the worst use of it. You just push it out there for no reason. So right here with my second pick, thankfully bananas and oranges went away really early because that was not on the top of my. So right here, there's like 3 things I'm really considering, but I'm just gonna have to take it right here. I'm gonna take pineapple. Just another great summer fruit. Sometimes you can eat nasty ones at like hotels or something, but if you get a nice ripe pineapple, I don't think there's much that compares to it. Very happy getting with my second pick, and we'll throw it back to Dev.
All right, so with my draft board, my number 1 and 2 were taken, which were mangoes and bananas, but my number 3 is still on the board, so I'm going to take that, and that's strawberries. I love strawberries. I think they're just an amazing, amazing fruit. You can dip them in chocolate. You can slice them up. You can eat them just like that. I just love strawberries. I think it's a great fruit, and my personal favorite berry.
I think that's very clear. It's the number 1 berry in my mind too. And actually, that's what I was considering instead of pineapple was strawberry and something else. But like you said, it's probably the best fruit to go with chocolate. I think anything else dipped in chocolate does not taste as good as strawberries dipped in chocolate. And like you said, it's very versatile. You can have it with oatmeal and like cereal. You can have it with yogurt. It's a great fruit.
I mean, if you're talking breakfast, right? Like my board, I got bananas and strawberries. Like that's great to me, and just that combination too. Some sliced up bananas, some sliced up strawberries, amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like the yogurt-wise, strawberry banana is like one of the biggest flavors. You know.
That's
Yeah.
the best smoothie starter too.
Yeah.
Strawberries and bananas. I mean, that's all you. That's you can make a smoothie just that. It's like prime pigs. You were thinking about that, Doug.
Yeah, I'm ready. I think Shahan's face said that he wanted strawberries. What's going on, Shahan?
Yeah, I definitely have other options, but when I felt like I was gonna get mango and strawberry back to back, I thought that I was about to end this draft right here, but instead, I mean, I'm not gonna overthink it at all. With my next pick, I'm just gonna go with apples. Apples, I think, grapefruit, lots of different varieties. There's obviously some that are more sweet, some that are more sour. You kind of get some different flavors with it. You can eat them in different ways. They're sort of the easy, like it's one of those versatile fruits too, where you can pick it up and go. You can also cut it up. You can also peel it if you want to. Again, I think that's sort of a classic pick.
If you're feeling Indian, you can put some masala on it.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And you can add some peanut butter.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, Shahan, what's your favorite kind of apple? I know you obviously get all of them. I'll just ask what your favorite is.
Yeah, I really like Honeycrisp apples. They're really sweet.
Anyone else with favorite apples, Dev?
I tend to prefer like I think they're called Granny Smith, the green ones, right?
Mhm.
They're a little sour. I like those ones personally.
Ryan?
Honeycrisp.
Okay. I probably eat Gala the most. I think Fuji apples are my favorite though. They're big and they're super duper sweet. So I think that's where it's at. But I think, yeah, like you said, you can eat it with quite a few things, and you got like so many, like a variety of apples. So good pick for sure.
Yeah. And I think when people think of fruits, I think the number one thing that comes to people's mind is apples. So I do think that in terms of the voting, I do think that, your mind when you think of fruit goes right there. So I think that is an advantage. Moving on to my third round pick. So this is a fruit that for whatever reason sometimes gets a little controversial with people. Like people don't seem to maybe like it as much as I do. But honestly, cantaloupes are one of my favorite fruits, and I think that that dropping to the third round here, I mean, I think that that's tremendous value.
Yeah, just don't bring honeydew along.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Like, cantaloupe is so good they let it bring a +1, right?
Yeah, and it's definitely one too that like if you get it cut fresh, it is like special. If it's like in one of those packages, it's not necessarily the same. But I think that it's just one of those fruits that, it's really sweet. It's pretty like solid and filling when you eat it. So, like I think it's a very good. To me, I mean, I think that you can definitely argue watermelon, but this is my personal favorite melon.
Okay, I think it was a little far, but no, I definitely love cantaloupes. When you said controversial, I didn't think about it. I was like, what kind of fruit is he talking about? Yes, dude. It turns out a lot of people hate cantaloupe, and I'm like, what? I'm like, why? Honestly, for me, it was actually probably top 5 when I started my list, because that's something you think about in the summer, like in the breakfast time, hotels, that's what you get. Like cantaloupe's always there. Usually it's not that great, but if you find a really good cantaloupe, I think that's one of the sweetest and one of the best fruits of all time.
Yeah, and again, if you cut it fresh, that's the thing with both mango and cantaloupe. It's like the average version of it is good. It's not necessarily the greatest, but like if you don't sort of get it pre-packaged or something like that, like if you take the time to actually like cut the fruit open, I mean, it just completely it's another level.
Yeah. I definitely kind of agree with that. When you compare your board to mine, right? You're talking about apples, mangoes, cantaloupe. You're looking at fruits that, at their best, are so much better than your average. Whereas when you're talking about when you think about bananas, strawberries, they're just very consistent fruits. They always taste the same. They're always good, but there's not really that next level.
Yeah, no, and I think that that's fair. I think that I'm definitely drafting some high upside players, whereas I'm not trying to draft role players. I'm trying to take some chances here and obviously elevate my team.
Some people just cantaloupe with cantaloupes.
That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Dev, go on.
All right. So with my next pick, I'm not sure if it's going to come back to me.
Shit.
So I'm just going to take what is my personal favorite fruit. It was not at the top of my board because I assume no one else loves it like I do, and that's pomegranate. I love pomegranate. It is amazing. I don't know. There's just something about it. Like the amount of work that goes in to getting to like getting to the fruit of the pomegranate is so much, but it's so worth it. I love pomegranate.
Yeah, I'm not a pomegranate guy personally.
I'm a big fan of pomegranate, and if it slipped to me, dude, I was gonna take that. So I'm a little upset here. I think pomegranate's a great fruit, dude. Honestly, you could just like eat the seeds like all day long watching TV or something. It's so worthy of opening that thing. You know, it's difficult, but it's definitely worth it, like you said. Yeah, I'm a little pissed off right here, but really good pick.
Like one of my favorite things, like when I'm in India, we'll like when we're just sitting around talking as a family, we'll like get the pomegranate out, we'll like crack it together, work on taking the seeds out, and then we'll just eat pomegranate, and it's like a great. It's like an afternoon activity. Like you guys are drafting fruit, I got an activity here with pomegranate.
Yeah. I have pomegranate on my board too. I love it. It's just so tasty. It's so sweet, so tart. It's an activity. I think it's low calorie too. It's a great selection.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, really great selection. You know, I think a lot of people in India enjoy it. I think it's called anar, at least in my language. People love that shit.
Same in Farsi.
That's what we call it too.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's cool. Nice, Ryan. Nice stuff. But okay, good pick.
I only speak English.
So that's not what they call it in his language. So right here, it's me, right? So I'm on the board.
Yep.
It feels like forever. A lot of my favorites got off the board, but right here, I'm gonna take another good like late night dessert type fruit, or afternoon fruit too, and I'm gonna take peaches right here. I think they're super sweet, really great. Peaches and cream, that's a classic. They even serve it at like Wimbledon when I went. But yeah, dude, I think peaches are really great compared to some of the other like apricots and plums and whatnot. I think peaches are number one, and I'm happy getting it right here.
Yeah, I really love peaches, and it's actually one of those weird things that like we're just talking about the fruit, but if you talk about like fruit flavorings, to me peach is like an elite flavor. Like artificial peach flavor is so good to me, but normal peaches are great as well. The only thing that I think is like a major downside is the fuzz. Like the fuzz really bugs me. That texture is just really weird, you know?
Yeah, I'm not a peach guy, and I think that it probably stems from at least when I was young, just really not liking the fuzz on it.
Yeah. Ironically, the one person who lived in Atlanta, not a peach guy.
Right?
Hey man, when I would drive from Atlanta to Durham to go visit Bargavie, there's a town called Gaffney, South Carolina, and their claim to fame is that they have a giant like statue of a peach basically.
Yeah, it's House of Cards, right? That's where the guy's from.
Yeah.
And they talk about it in the show.
I have the picture here. Let me see if I can find it. But what do you think?
No, they actually do have it. I've seen it. I passed through it, and yeah, dude, I really enjoy peaches. I get the fuzz thing, dude. I think I preferred apricots as a kid just because it didn't have the fuzziness. But no, peaches are way sweeter. I think they're just way better. So I'm happy getting it here with my third pick.
I think peaches are also another one of the high upside players, because I think if you get a really good peach, it's really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you get a bad peach, it's what happened here.
Yeah, but I don't think it's like super sour or something. It's just like flavorless,
It's a monotone flavor. It doesn't...
Right. And I guess like growing up, I ate a lot of diced peaches, which is I guess kind of weird. You consider that, but those fruit cups, they have a lot of peaches.
Yeah, with the syrup, with the exorbitant amount of syrup.
Way too much syrup.
All right, well, Ryan, you've got two back-to-back picks with your third and fourth. Your fourth being your last. So go ahead.
Thank you for clarifying. I thought I had one more pick after the fourth, but
I didn't clarify whether it is 4 rounds or 5 rounds. So it is 4 rounds.
Thank you. For my third pick, I'm going back to the berries. I'm going to take raspberries. I think raspberries, obviously strawberries is the top berry, but I think raspberry is a very close next berry. It's nice and sweet, nice and tart, nice and full of antioxidants to help boost your immune system, and it's a great summer fruit. You can put it in a sorbet. It's very tasty. Raspberries.
What was that?
You had me till the end.
Oh. Are you okay over there, Ryan? You seem a little bit emotionally involved with all of this going on.
I think he really, really loves raspberries. We just found that out right now. No, I think raspberries are actually probably the sweetest out of the berries if you can find some really good ones. I think just the fuzziness and kind of like the clutter it looks like kind of grosses me out a little bit. But yeah, I think a lot of things that are flavored raspberry are really good too. But it's a solid berry.
Yeah, I also considered it like, I did my draft board and I was like, I want to get one of strawberries or raspberries. So I think it was a good pick.
For my fourth pick, there's a lot of good fruits still on the board. I think there's multiple directions you can go with this pick. I'm kind of torn because I have a lot of unit dose single. You can put it in a bowl and pick one at a time and eat. You can rip the oranges, get the orange pieces one at a time and eat. So I feel I need a handheld fruit. So I'm gonna go with the handheld direction on this one. Deb mentioned it once. I'm gonna go with plum. Taking plum with my last pick. I think plums are extremely sweet. They're extremely fibrous. They're good for if you have constipation. They can help with that. They're tasty. I got Ashish on that one. I'm gonna spit out his water.
For the listeners instead of the viewers, Ashish spit out his water when Ryan said that.
That's
It's a nice and soft, so it's easy to bite into, easy to eat, sweet, tasty, a nice fresh fruit you can have on any day.
I gotta say,
the best what fruit? I heard breast fruit.
Fresh fruit.
Okay.
I gotta say, when you're trying to brag about your fruit to me, you should not use the word fibrous. That is not a plus.
As a matter of fact, it's part of the prune family, and prunes are known to drink prune juice when you're constipated.
That's not a brag. I promise.
Yeah, like that's a negative to me, not a positive.
Well, when I'm having a proper amount of bowel movement and you're not, you can come back and talk with me.
I think that's something you got going though, Ryan. You did get grapes and plums, so if you sun dry them, you got raisins and prunes. So good
There
for you,
you
buddy. But no, I don't know if Dev mentioned them, but I did mention them. I think if you get like the sweetest plum, it's really, really fucking good. But a lot of them are kind of tartish. Like you don't get a really sweet one, and it's like, meh, not worth it. So I think that's kind of a risk you're gambling with. Because I don't know, sometimes you bite into it, it's like that dark purplish look, and you're like, oh, this is like a goat plum. But sometimes it's kind of like that yellowish orange, and you're like, yeah, this one's not ripe at all. It tastes gross. So
Yeah,
I took a high upside.
Is why plums aren't on my board, because like I'm never excited to like bite into a plum because I never know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's got to be a high upside that you know that you're going to get a fiber, right? So
True.
Oh man, that's what I was looking for. I mean, I looked for the most fibrous apple imaginable. Like it's just, whew.
I was going through the grocery store and I was just looking and like, man, does this have enough fiber? Nah, throw it away. Give me the plum.
Clearly.
Fuck a mango. I want fiber.
Damn, dude. All right. That's interesting, Ryan. Nice way to wrap up your draft. So right here, yeah, thanks. So I'm gonna go. There's a couple things I'm thinking about. I don't really have something too citrusy. I mean, I guess I do have pineapple, but like a nice citrus fruit. But you know what? I'm going off the board. I'm gonna miss out on berries too. But right here, I'm gonna take coconut. Right here. I think coconuts are actually a really great fruit. Like the flesh of it is very nice. Once you break it, it's kind of an obstacle to break it, but hey, it's worth it. And I think coconut water, one of the best things of all time, dude, especially if you're going to like Indian melas and all that stuff, dude, when they sell the coconut water, you just want a sip of that. It's nice and cold. It's like usually in the summer and you're like, oh, fuck, this is the greatest thing of all time. So, and now I paired up my second pick, pineapple, with coconut. So I'm just rum away from a pina colada. So I'm very happy right now.
You got the summer fruit collection over there.
Yeah, you do definitely have a summer fruit collection.
I think this is the paradise fruit collection right here going on. But yeah, I'm very happy taking it right here, and I think it's a great underrated fruit.
I think it's very clear she's just ready to go to the beach.
I agree.
Most definitely.
I actually completely forgot about coconuts. And all of the research I was doing for fruits, coconuts completely slipped my mind. I think that's a fantastic last pick.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love
Yeah,
coconuts.
I think I'm the only. I think I'm the only Sri Lankan person ever to not like shrimp and not like coconuts. So, I don't think I'm allowed back on the island.
Yeah, I think you're wrong on both counts. So,
Do you not like coconut at all? Or do you not like the actual fruit coconut, but the flavoring coconut you're good with, or shredded coconut?
I mean, it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't like it or like refuse to eat it. It's just I don't know. I just don't think it's that good personally.
I got
I
you. You
think if you were talking about controversial fruits, right, coconut has got to be up there in terms of controversial. I think a lot of people don't like
Shredded
coconut.
coconut is absolute garbage. I will not budge on that front. But the rest is I don't know. It's fine. It's not like that special. I'm not a big coconut water guy. I don't know. It's just not. I mean,
What a
coconut milk is
shitty-ass
great
take.
for coconut milk is great for cooking, but that's my main application.
Wow. Well, I'm not going to take that disrespect for coconut water. I love that shit. Okay, well, let's end up the draft. Dev, you're back up.
Yeah. Well, Ryan's got fibrous, you got hydrating. So,
The battle of the century.
all right. With my last pick, I really don't know if I should go the route of like rounding out my draft with another style of fruit or just picking another one of my favorites that's very similar to my board. But I'm just gonna stick with my favorites. I'm gonna take blueberries. I love blueberries. And when you talk about like if you were gonna ever combine fruits to me, like blueberries can go with a lot of other fruits. Like you take blueberries with raspberries, take blueberries with blackberries, with strawberries, like any kind of berry, you throw blueberries in there with them. I love blueberries. Now, it's one of those things that like when you talk about consistency, I think every time you have a bowl of blueberries, it is great, but there's always some bad blueberries in there. So it's just one of those interesting things. I actually really love the fact that like you take some blueberries, sometimes it's sweet, sometimes it's sour. That kind of like slot machine of it is fun to me when I'm eating blueberries, but I think a lot of people would disagree.
It's a food. You're not supposed to wonder.
No, because like every single blueberry has a slightly different flavor, right? So as you're eating like a bowl of blueberries, like you get a slightly different flavor with each one. I like that.
I think it pairs really well with the rest of your board. Really, strawberries and bananas with blueberries. That's like the go-to in the mornings. Really, another fruit that goes well with like oatmeal and cereal and yogurt as well. In parfaits and shit like that. Yeah, I think you got it right on the spot, dude. Sometimes they're really sweet and they're the most amazing thing. You feel so good having them. Sometimes, dude, they're kind of tart and you're kind of like, what the fuck did I just put in my mouth? Like I just had like a bunch of tart ones last week and I haven't had a blueberry since because I'm just a little worried, dude. It's just that's why it's at the bottom for me. I think it's actually the healthiest berry. It has the most benefits. I think that's a fact. But yeah, that's why it's slid down my board is because sometimes it's too tart for me and I just don't enjoy it.
And it's also one of the things that I really enjoy about blueberries is that they're really good both like in smoothies and you can get them frozen and they're still really good when they're frozen. I actually will like just eat them like pretty much frozen. Not like I defrost them just barely and I'll eat them like that. And I think they're amazing. So it's like kind of a dessert almost.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
So if you want summer fruits, go to Ashish. If you want breakfast fruits, go to
Yeah, I'm your guy. I don't have the most fibrous breakfast.
Right. if you got constipation, go to Ryan's Fruit. But yeah, really, really good fruit. Good pick. Shahan, last pick. Where you headed?
Yeah, so when I made my last pick, when I picked cantaloupe in the third round, I had 3 fruits left on my board, and I was worried because there were 6 picks before you got to me, and you guys picked 6 fruits that I did not have on my board at all. So I don't know how that happened, but that means that I've got a decision to make here.
Wait, don't tell me you don't have any fibrous fruits on your list.
Anyway, so I'll do my 2 honorable mentions first. I had kiwi on my board. Kiwi was definitely one that I heavily considered. The other honorable mention that I'll make, shout out to the pears, Rick Ross. But with my last pick, we talked about it a little earlier. I'm gonna go with clementines. I think that you look at my board right here, right now, right? I've got mango, apple, cantaloupe. I think that clementines are great for things that you can bring on the go. They're a little smaller, so they're more of like a snack than maybe some of these other stuff that can sometimes be a little too filling or like kind of be a whole meal to itself. And I think that clementines, like you guys were talking about, I think that they are the more user-friendly version of the oranges in a lot of ways. You can bring them on the go a lot easier. You can eat them much quicker. It's much less of a big deal than like taking a freaking knife out and cutting up an orange. Like,
yeah, easy to peel with your hand.
Definitely.
No, I think you hit it right on the mark, dude. Like you said, way easier to take with you, way easier to peel than oranges, and I think the hit rate's way higher with clementines. Like usually they're always sweet. Oranges you can get like meh ones, but yeah, dude. In high school, that's what I used to take for lunch was like 2, 3 clementines just as a side little snack during my lunch. I think it's a perfect pick, way to round out your board. Dev, you want to cover your board and 2 honorable mentions?
Yeah, so I'll just go off the bat with my honorable mentions. I had cherries. Now, I think cherries get a bad rap because of the candy cherries. Candy cherries are garbage, but regular fresh cherries are amazing. And then the other one I had was kiwi, which Shahan mentioned. I love kiwi as well. Yeah, so my board, I have bananas, strawberries, pomegranate, blueberries. I think, like Ryan mentioned, when you talk about breakfast, you've got I definitely have that locked down. And I just think that all of my fruits outside of pomegranate are really convenient. And pomegranate's like an activity. It's like a family thing. Pomegranate to me is just a special kind of fruit, and it's unique, and I love it. So I really am happy with my picks. I got 4 out of my top 5. So
Interesting.
Mango
top
being
5.
Mango being the one I lost, but I figured if I didn't get the number 1 pick, Mango was gone anyway. So.
All right, yeah, that's good. I love your. I think you got a really great morning, draft right there, and you got strawberries, blueberries. I love berries, and like you mentioned, cherries. Another one that didn't, get drafted. They're fantastic. Ryan.
Bev has a breakfast to wake up on the sunny side, but I got the fibrous ones. Let's go. I got I got grapes, raspberries, oranges, and lastly, plums. I think they're all easy to eat. All the different tastes. You get some acidity with the citrus. You get the nice raspberries, which are tart and sweet. You get grapes, which are generally sweet, or you can get a tart. And then you got plums, where you get your fiber, nice, sweet, easy to hold and snack to take with you with all the other fruits I have. My 2 honorable mentions. Deb mentioned one, cherries. Figs is one of my honorable mentions. You get good figs, they're the sweetest fruit, tastes like honey. And then nectarines, they're a nice cousin of peaches.
Have you tried honey before?
Yes.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah, I don't think a single one of your honorable mentions was on my board.
Figs are really good. My parents have a fig tree, and they have the best figs.
I don't know when don't even know if I've ever had like a real fig. I love fig Newtons, but like that's clearly like a full step away from the fruit, right? Like we're getting pretty convoluted at that point.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I think that the only one that I really considered picking that was on Ryan's board was grapes. I don't think that I considered anything else that he took.
Yeah.
You didn't consider oranges?
I thought about it, but it was like one of my if that's gone, then I'll take oranges.
Well, like you were probably with me where clementines was ranked higher than oranges.
Yeah, I was.
That's same for me, Ryan. I think oranges and clementines were there for me. I prefer clementines. If I didn't get and I wanted a citrus one, would have gone with oranges. I think raspberries are one of the better berries for sure, though. That was a really good pick. I can't take your fig take. That was pretty disgusting. But Dev was mentioning about frozen blueberries. He likes them as a little dessert, right? Lightly defrosted. I think a lot of people freeze their grapes and have those as a dessert, and I've heard that's really good. So
I've been seeing that pop up a lot recently, but I've never tried it personally.
Yeah, they're actually pretty great. I used to try it a couple years ago, and
Do you just eat them frozen, or do you defrost them at all?
No, you don't defrost them. You just put them in there, and just the outer shell really gets cold, and the inside's still fleshy and liquidy. So
interesting.
All right, so I drafted watermelon. Hell of a fruit. I think probably the best summer fruit. You got pineapple, very chill, very nice, very sweet fruit. You got peaches, another sweet, kind of tropical-ish fruit. And I rounded it out with coconut, kind of like a wild card. But, another fruit that I really enjoy, and, just having that whole coconut and drink that coconut water, probably one of the best things of all time. As you guys mentioned, I don't have kiwi as an honorable mention. I kind of hate kiwi, but it is actually a superfruit. If you look at the potassium and I think the vitamin C in there, it's up to par with oranges and bananas. So, it is what it is. So my two honorable mentions, I was going to go with pears, like Shahan mentioned. I think really good. The brown ones or the green ones, I think both go really well with apples if you're going with like a fruit salad type thing. And the other was lychee. I really like lychee.
Oh man, I completely forgot about lychees.
I had that in the fourth round between that and coconut for me, along with cherries. But dude, lychees are freaking amazing, dude. If you ever go to those Asian stores and get like a bucket full of those little candies of just like already scooped out lychees, amazing. Yeah.
Did you consider chikus for your draft board? Because I know that like no one here would know, like no one voting probably would know what it is, but like I love chikus, man.
Dude, I haven't had too many. Okay, I asked my sister-in-law though what her favorite fruits are, and chiku was like top 5 for her. So shout out to you, Shivali. But yeah, dude, honestly, I think I need to eat some more of them and try it out. But that's interesting. Is it honeydew the worst fruit of all time? Can we?
Well, if you get a good honeydew, it's really good, but that's
I think it's really hard to get a good one,
yeah,
dude. It's like
that's what I'm
1%.
saying. You get a 1 in a 100 chance. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
I
it's
think
the worst
honeydew
fruit.
would be in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that the big thing with honeydew too is that it's just like most of the time it's more flavorless. Like it doesn't taste bad. Like there are fruits that to me taste bad, and so like I don't know. That would be more the argument. Is like you're not getting a lot from honeydew, but it's not like taking away from your day either.
True. But like if you're talking about like I feel like honeydew is like so purposeless. Like why would I ever eat a honeydew? You know what I mean? Like with some of those other fruits, like if you don't like the taste, like at least there's some benefit. Like what is the benefit of eating a honeydew? You know?
Well, what's the fiber content, Ryan?
I'm not aware. I didn't look into that. It wasn't on my
man.
board.
Oh man.
Oh
Shit.
man.
Okay, but yeah, I think it's actually right there with Kamloops though. If you get a 1%er, that taste is like fucking spectacular. It's just that you're rarely gonna get it. Anyways, I think that wraps up another great draft episode. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, you can hit us up on AshishandFriends.com, ask us questions, vote on the polls at Ashish and Friends on Instagram, Ashish and Pals on Twitter, or even on Facebook, facebook.com/Ashish and Friends pod. So until next time, we're out.